That's fine. That's all go now.
Maybe it's just the wee screen turns off.
No, sure, it should be going full flight, and then the battery's good and all now there. Should it says the battery? We'll see that you shut off.
But yeah, Instagram, every time I come in, loads of swipe ups because I want you to go to Spotify to stream the song. After a day, literally turn. So it starts like 4 days out when I want people to pre-save, so I add the link.
Right.
And then by the time the song drops, I'm getting, 5 views on my stories. Like I got 5 views in 24 hours. And it's normally around 3,000.
Shows you though the power. But then
now this week after last week's songs, my average story views in 24 hours are 85.
That's not why.
But I can get it why they're doing it. They don't want me sending people off their nice shiny platform. But why the fuck would you put the ability to put a link in if that's the case?
Yeah, they're looking. What do they want you to link up our profiles? Like it just doesn't.
I don't know.
The swipe up is literally to take you away from Instagram. So they've built in a feature for
and
that.
it always happens. And the last time I did think it was because of the COVID thing game, but then I realised I hadn't said anything that bad. And now I just realised that every time I release a song, my engagement, everything just plummets. So back to the old faithful Snapchat. Hi guys, haven't seen you in 2 years.
How many you have on Snapchat?
About 15 or 20,000.
Do you?
Like loads, because I used it for all, like anywhere I promoted over the years was always done through Snapchat.
Yeah, because that was the platform, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, as well.
For practically went, what I go, Bebo, Facebook, Snapchat.
For my first 2 years in the Hatfield, we done everything via Snapchat. We actually proved one of the head guys from Guinness came in one day and we just opened the roof garden, which you used to love being in the roof garden.
I used to love the roof garden.
So we opened the roof garden and he's like, oh, this is great. And then one of the reps from Guinness goes, these guys got a real good Snapchat following. And he said, what Snapchat? We were telling him. He's like, how good? And I was like, well, I can put up a Snapchat now that we're going to give away some Guinness products. And he goes, I'll have people flooding here. And he goes, seriously? And I was like, yeah, we can see many people seeing the Snap. Now this is like blowing this man's mind.
Yeah, he's freaking.
So he goes, right, he goes, I'll give you 100 free, but you probably remember this, I give you 100 free bottles of Hop House when it came out. So we took a picture of the bottle of Hop House, or took a video that says, come and get it. And people started streaming up to the roof. The roof was rammed within like 20 minutes, and he was standing there going, that's
mental.
It's technology.
Yeah, but it is.
You
think about it. Like
it's like, so Snapchat was a word thing. Snapchat, if we wanted to get a message out, Facebook was a way to get the message out, but if we need to get a message out fast, Snapchat had the speed, because people would click on it real fast, see it, so the message was out fast. So we used to set up a camera in the Hatfield and put like a jug of lemon at 12 o'clock, hide it somewhere, set up a camera, pointing at it, and go live. We go, come get me. People go, oh fucks, I know what that fucking is. And you had boys running in, looking around them, and then sprinting to fucking look for it.
I don't remember anything of that.
Do you know? Boys running in. We used to do a Facebook Live, and boys would run in, fucking sprint up the stairs where the pool tables were, because they knew exactly where this big jug of lemon or whatever it was, like loads of Jaeger bombs were. Because you were doing a live stream, and you see the boys on the phone looking and go, I'm gonna have to walk over here, get in front of the live stream to fucking grab these.
Yeah.
And they turn that off, I'm here, and you're like, no lad, go get it.
That's such good publicity. Like I remember I was brainstorming ideas of like how to get more traction and one of them that I came out with was I was gonna hide somewhere locally and tell people come find me. That was actually one of the things and then I was like, you know what the problem is though? I think you'd be found in 10 minutes.
Oh, aye.
You'd be found, but you would have to be a decent reward. You know, like you're doing like, say I goes, right, I'm somewhere in there, here's your snap of the street, 100 quid for the first person to come find me.
We done treasure hunts with the Hatfield. We done them like around the Holy Land Botanic area.
Yeah,
and then like 10 stops. And like you go out, girls went out in groups of like 4s and 5s. And like we would have like different prizes and all. And they used to fucking love that shit.
That's good crack.
With a wee riddles. What's that? Like some of them were stupid, like because the street names you can really play on it. And then they'd come in and we'd have one of the members of staff just sitting there like outside this bar with a fucking next clue, and then they'd go around and grab it. But people like that sort of thing, and then
that's all traction.
But now you see some of the stupid things you used to do now, people won't do that on social media because it's too cool for school.
Yes, and I agree, and I think that's one of the things that actually it's like, do you know whenever like, don't get me wrong, I put up stuff with the tub last night, but then I also put up a video of me and my mum singing, was it ABBA or something? I don't know what that was.
Like nobody does shit like that because everybody wants to be seen as
the Bee Gees.
This cool, like fucking
I'm
smouldering, looking off into the sunset.
Fair enough if you want to be like that, but I'm not like that. I'm a goofball in real life. Though. Like,
but that's what works for you, I think, because people then go, this is just real shit.
But you know what? I'm the sort of fucker that be singing a song and then you be singing it and then you get the next 3 lyrics from it and I'll just keep rolling with them. So, but like that's, I think more people relate with that. And then as well, like with the stuff that you're doing, the more different it is, the more chance there's of people remembering it. It's like the last one we were doing there about copying. It's just like the more original and different the idea is, usually the more it'll stick with you. Like,
oh yeah, like Day Rave. When I launched the Day Rave, everybody was like, "What?" So, like, let me get this clear, right? So, you're opening the club part 2:00. Like, at that time they had blinds. I was close the blinds, dark, lights on.
the Day Rave was great. I used to love it.
Yeah. So when we started Day Rave, when I started Day Rave was originally meant to start down the Skillin.
You used to come out loaded. It'd be about 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock and it'd be bright still, and they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, "Oh, I can't even go to scratch now."
You wouldn't have known me back then, would you?
Nah, just because I remember seeing pictures of you and you were always in the roof garden because you'd always notice the steel behind you.
That's the one I always.
The tin shed. But then the Armagh boys were always up there.
Yeah.
And the Down boys were always up there. But when we done Day Rave, everybody's like, that won't work. That'll never work. And I believed it, so I went away and registered the brand and all. And I was like, no, this will work, this will work, this will work. And then the first one, like they're all like, we haven't done 1 in 2 years because of fucking COVID. But like we used to sell out in tickets in 90 seconds.
Yeah, to go flat.
Like 90 seconds, and then we had to make them bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we brought over BCM Michael out to do them. But everybody was like, so what is it? And you're like, we're just opening a nightclub at 3 o'clock. So why the fuck do people go to that? On when? What day? Like especially like Paddy's Day? Like, no, just a Wednesday.
I think personally, like whenever I do drink, which is very rare, the crack during the day is always better than the night.
Oh,
I don't like as much as, like, don't get me wrong, I love a good fucking DJ, but I enjoy actual crack. Not
what's who you're with?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all about that.
So during the day is always the better.
Yeah, I'll never go out drinking with fuck with. Because the crack is with the people you're with. Like you could have the best DJ in the world there, but if you're with a bunch of imbeciles, you're like, what the fuck? Like what's the point?
It's sort of. I actually quite like drinking with lunatics like usually.
No, but I mean, like people are just shit crack. You know, like you're just like, what the fuck? Like it's like sometimes when you go like on a stag do, and you're like, there's 4 or 5 boys in a stag do that I wish weren't here.
Yes.
And they're kind of.
They're keeping things from going loose. You need somebody to go loose.
You need that one. Like we all know that one guy is gonna go.
I need somebody to nudge, and then I can follow.
You're looking at him at the airport, going. I remember mate stag. We were looking at one boy in the airport. Going, this is your time to shine. You can get it now. You start now. And he's like, nah, gonna take it fucking easy for a few hours. And you're like, show me the real you.
Yeah.
Kept talking to him. The next minute he's fucking bouncing about the plane. But you do need that one person, as you said, like the day drinking. I think the day drinking is the best thing about being a student in Belfast, because Liverpool don't have that. Manchester doesn't really have that.
Yeah.
Not to the way the Rose and Crown and the Hatfield are.
Yes.
Like not to that berserk level where you're like you walk in 2 o'clock thinking you're going to get a nice lunch in the Hatfield, and you're like, why is there 300 people here?
Yeah, it's wedged.
And why are they drinking vodka?
But I think like you were saying about the difference thing, that also comes down to like everything to do with like social media.
Yeah.
Everybody in general is like bouncing back on the drink topic is like, do you ever see somebody doing really well for themselves, and then I get people going like, oh, such and such is doing so well
Because they got Grey Goose or no?
And yeah, and then even just that, like even the case of like, and you look at somebody that's really really doing well for themselves, like somebody could say to me, oh, such and such doing so well for themselves, and then the first thing I think is, but they're born bastards.
Oh,
fuck me, I'd rather be homeless than go on like that person, because the way they're going on is actually like I just imagine, you know, if you met them for a drink, or you met them for the crack, you just actually, fair enough, yes, they're doing well for themselves,
but
like I would not want to live that life.
See,
you know what I'm talking about? You talk about these people that everything is so straight line.
You
know where they're going to move the next 20 years. They're doing well themselves, but you're also like, fuck me, mate.
Have a laugh. No, take a day off.
Yeah, the other thing we were diving in there as well was off camera. We were talking about like shadow ban, but we were also talking about Instagram getting rid of the likes, and like you were saying that they're talking about getting rid of the followers and stuff too.
So at the minute you can hide.
How would you? I'm assuming you would still follow somebody. They wouldn't know.
No, they'll know. You'll know you're following.
I know my phone, so I could screenshot it. I'm still okay.
You can screenshot them and
post it
every morning. Go update. Yeah, guys, still got it.
Yeah,
you can do that. But so at the minute, you'll notice at the
So
at the
strange.
3 wee buttons at the top of your post, you can hide your likes.
Can you do that now?
Yeah. So if you go on your Instagram,
No way.
yeah. So if you go on Instagram, take up your latest picture,
Right, yeah.
and then go to the 3 buttons.
Turn off commenting, hide like count.
Yeah. There you go. So I can't see your likes on that page, that post now.
Do you think that's better or do you think that's worse
I
for
think
you?
it's better for people because people
like posts with loads of likes.
like posts with loads of likes, but they also that's where they stem bullying from because they'll screenshot and go, oh, look at this fucking loser. He's only got 200 likes in that post. His last post had 4,500 likes.
Yeah, because
And
my likes do very, very.
That's where systemic bullying and trolling happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're trying to do that. Some companies
Surely
have
they
got
like
it in.
turn off likes and turn off commenting and stuff. Like that ruins your
Like
engagement.
people can turn off comments where they know they're going to get loads of stick. Or I think
I probably would do that. I put up a post and a bit triggering like.
I think certain posts, I think about kids and stuff, I think they normally, well, I know YouTube definitely, YouTube disable comments on videos of children, normally by default, unless you undisable, because they don't want some fucking going around about that, you know.
Oh my God.
So yeah, they've been trialing the likes, that like thing you can pick yourself. They're probably going to take that in, and then the next thing they're trialing is, in certain countries, is they're going to not show your followers and following to see if that helps.
Wonder, yeah, but how are they monitoring this? I'm trying to load up this picture because you're talking about something you said to just spike this, but I got a message the other day and I couldn't believe it.
And then certain countries have brought it in. I think Australia have brought it in, and then Canada maybe. There's certain countries are bringing it in, and as a country they're going, right, this is what we're going to do. Other countries are leaving it up to the user, but Instagram are definitely toying with the idea. Your blue tick will still be there, but the idea is that the content is key and content wins rather than people knowing that someone's insanely popular. And Instagram's probably one of the ones that brought out a lot of bullying compared to YouTube, whereas YouTube's exactly the same thing.
Don't know, it still probably wouldn't get rid of a whole lot of this stuff as well though, because like people will still need the followers, they'll still want them.
Yeah, it'll just mean that also
you'll not know if you'll not be able to verify how legit somebody is by the following.
No.
But
then that's too. You can buy followers. You can buy followers. Like I know there's someone locally here now that if you go on to their page and they're following and just flick back maybe 2 things, you'll start seeing he's now followed by 3,000 men from Pakistan. You're like, oh, that's weird that they've all followed you in the same day in a line.
Well, I would no sweat.
No,
Get the man from
like,
Pakistan in line.
And then
I need to eat 20.
But a lot of the men are. Funny enough, they have no profile picture. And then when you go on, they have 3 posts, and one's always like of a quote, the other one's of like a mountain, and the next one's of just of a girl because clearly it's a funny profile. But yeah, it's, I don't know, like we're talking about building a business on Instagram. It's like building a business and borrowing real estate. You can have a business on it, but if it's your only,
you cannot rely on it. We were talking about this as well. Like for example, like I was saying to Mickey about like how yes, I'm doing well with coaching and the money's alright now, but a case of what's your safety net? Like what's your exit strategy?
Yeah.
If Instagram died tomorrow and you like now there won't be,
where would everybody find you?
Where would everybody go? Like, how would I survive?
Yeah.
And the thing is, word of mouth, yes, which is good, and that's why you can't sell shit. We're talking about selling shit twice, but also the fact that like, right, I'm starting to put money in the property so that like not just as a safety net, but different revenue income. Whenever you're dependent on completely on. I'm not talking about depending on one income source. I hate this. You ever see people who are like, you need multiple streams of income. Well, what the fuck do I look like? Like I don't have all the hours of the day, but that sort of case of if you're reliant on social media, like you need to remember, as much as I'm about 26 now, I would say when I was 13 years ago, Bebo was massive, and you would have sworn it would never went away. Bebo's dead in the water now. Went to MySpace for a couple months. Facebook.
No, MySpace was before Bebo.
MySpace and Bebo were in the same time.
Yeah, and then you had Facebook.
Then Snapchat. And now don't get me wrong, Facebook's obviously still there, Snapchat's still there, but it's nowhere near as dominant. And there will be some, and TikToks came in because Musical.ly went out. Yeah, and then if you look at it as well, like what's going to die off next, or Joe, is Instagram?
Well, TikTok's 100% going to be the die off.
Yeah, but it's one of the things where it's going to be quick in, you're going to get a load of people making a lot of money, and it's going to
die off. The smart TikTokers are moving now, they've moved to Instagram. they've moved to YouTube.
Yeah, you're moving your followers
So
across.
like Vine was the thing, and then all the Vine comedians moved to YouTube.
Yeah,
and
that's
realised that there's the whole joke like some of them comedians are only funny for 6 seconds. Because there were 6 seconds videos, and then they started moving to YouTube. A lot of them did die off, but a lot of them are still like the biggest. Some of them are the biggest comedians in the world at the minute. But it's just you get people like I go on Instagram and see a certain influencer, and then you go, fuck, I must check their Facebook page, see how good it's going. And you're like, oh, like they've 800 on Facebook, but they've fucking 125k on Instagram, and that's fine. But if that Instagram page say you're a bit of a live wire, it gets deleted, it gets taken away from you.
What have you got?
So you have to build from zero again. Unless your fans are ultra high engaged people that actually go and miss you, you're never going to get back to the level you're at.
Like prime example is like if my Instagram got deleted, say tomorrow, I think I would be alright because my following, yes, is solid, but majority of my following's done. Like don't get me wrong.
But your following's locally, so you'd probably be grand because somebody will go, where the fuck's Tony McAleavey gone? And
Yes,
then somebody in the gym will go, got deleted because he put up a picture of the budgie smugglers and his balls was hanging out. And then somebody else will go, oh, has he got a new one? There's a new one. Same way as when the fake profiles look up, people see them straight away.
Yeah, the result one too, like the results that I post sort of go, right, well this is solid product, so even if I had 3,000 followers after I got deleted, I would still have my current clients and my results would still get me more. Whereas if you are literally making a living off actual social media and your account gets deleted, like there is real
like Sean Casey would be an account I would say
he's trying to make them come across, and he's on TikTok.
But I mean on Instagram, he's one of the accounts where I would say he should probably start building a backup account.
He's built up a backup TikTok.
On TikTok, because his content is. That's why I love his content.
Because he was trolling, he was giving people that if you were saying something wrong, he would bring you up and then say that's wrong. And that was what.
And then they call it harassment.
Yeah. As soon as they find that, if they like on TikTok, it's so.
Doesn't matter if it's real or not, even if it's.
If they find it, you can get so many strikes and stuff. But as you said there, but I think that's where you play that risk. Like you don't get that traction without that risk, and that's where I'm saying I'd rather be different, it build up, and then that's where like you diversify. That's why, like for example, you notice. I'm trying to do even more TikTok. I'm trying to do even more YouTube. I'm trying to spread a wee bit more. Although people will say hammer one comp.
No. You have to be found in more. The more places you're found. Say someone Googles Tony McAleavey, you want to be found in certain places. And here's a
you in LinkedIn?
Yeah, of course.
See, you know, I've only started that. Like, that's a good thing to have.
LinkedIn's great to have for business because it means that you actually your credibility's up there.
LinkedIn is quite good.
This is a real smart one. This is the sort of shit I've been watching on YouTube. A marketing guy was talking about people getting over the fappening or whatever it was called, where all the iPhone leaks of the famous people naked things.
Oh yes.
People were getting how do people deal with that and get over it? And one of the most googled one was Rihanna.
Yeah.
So what she brought out, I don't know if it was a perfume or a makeup called Naked. So anybody that Googles Rihanna Naked, it's the first 4 or 5 pages are all of her actual product and not all of dirty sites. And that's how she got over that thing. And I'm like, that is so fucking smart.
Yeah, she doesn't even. She's making that much money from makeup, perfume, and underwear.
So whatever it was called, or nude, naked or nude or whatever it was, she brought out a product that was called this, and that's how she got away with it because it was like the most Googled. It was people were googling that more than googling her songs. So they went, how do we get around this? And this marketing guy, in New York says you need to bring out a product called Naked or Nude, and everybody's going to buy it because you're Rihanna. So it's going to push all that shit right down to the bottom.
That's fair.
And it worked. And I was just like, fuck me. This is the reason these boys are getting paid millions. So that boy's probably going to... Well, he probably wouldn't retire in that idea.
He's set for life.
He's set for life. Like it's... social media.
It's a man world. I know we all say this, but see the fact that they're changing something now. You see, like the first thing, as soon as he said about the likes, the first thing I thought was, fuck, is that going to affect my business, Joe, is
I don't think it will. I think people...
It wouldn't affect me anyway. It would affect other people, I think.
It'll affect people that sell teeth whitening and shit like that. Because
you've no authority would be the word, or no.
It's no authority, but also you're selling people a product that you have to be skilled in selling.
But do you know what I think as well? Though there's a lot of people that I know that think a person is good looking based off their following. Like say a date, like there's nothing wrong. Say a good looking lass, there'll be somebody being like, she's unbelievable because she's got 30,000 followers. They'll assume that she's got the followers because of her look, and the same with a certain. Don't get me wrong, that might be the reason, but at the same time, it's almost seen as like a what's the best way to explain it? Not authority, but not a level. There's no. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. It's sort of like, yeah.
It's like
you're worth more because you have more of a following.
It's like, you know, like to be like, oh, he's got a good job, he's got loads of followers, he's good with his family. It's almost like a tick. It's not like a tick box thing, but it's one of the things where
it used to be. It used to be what's his bank balance like, and now it's like how many followers they have or how many likes they have.
It definitely makes a difference.
It's strange because people like you be chatting to people, and then you know they be like, oh, whenever it comes up, you're like, oh, I'm not on Instagram.
Yeah. And
people like, do you think that's weird? You're like, no, I think that's fucking deadly.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's fucking great. They're like, it just couldn't be bored with social media.
I remember talking to like a lad about it before, and he was going single, and he was saying to me like, he was literally just bringing up his message. He was like, he's just normal, like say 2,000 followers or something, just a normal following. And he was like, but he was like, you don't realise how easy it would be for you if you had that sort of. And I goes, what the fuck are you talking about? And he goes, but following matters. You need to realise as well. He goes, if you have 18,000, he goes, somebody's gonna fancy you. And I was like, that's fucking nuts. Like that's a status. And I was like,
but then also the people that
he's just saying that,
you don't want to be around. Like we talk about frothers. There's in the DJ world, there's these girls called frothers who froth at DJs and people in the music industry or whatever.
That's like a Jersey tugger.
It's sort of exact same thing as the Jersey tugger.
There's not gonna be a PT tugger.
Oh yeah, there will be, yeah. 100% there is. Okay, of course there is. There's lifestyle tuggers, we call them. You know, people who want a fellow with loads. We've said about it, money that's easily earned in people's eyes is money easily spent. They would see like musicians, DJs, even PTs are making money easy because it's not a real job in some people's views, is money that's easily spent. So there's certain people that are like they like that lifestyle, so that's what they gravitate towards that. And then in DJ world they call them frothers. And
why have they frother? Like frothing
at the mouth.
Oh, I fucking meant frothing somewhere.
No, frothing at the mouth. So like I know my Australian mates, my Melbourne mates would say like there's certain girls that would work their way around the whole DJ circuit.
That's nuts. Like,
because go from whoever's popular. And
like how type.
They love a DJ because, as we talked about it, they're free during the day. They bring them out on lunch dates. They bring them out on shopping dates. They bring them on holidays. When they go to venues, they're VIPs.
So not a gold digger or a DJ digger.
But the same thing as a gold digger, but in the Australian DJ world, they're called frothers, which is a funny term. But that's a real thing. Like that is a real thing.
But there's people like that. Like I went to a court. Like whenever I've seen stuff like that. People always go towards what they don't have as well. Sometimes you'll see that in relationships. Like if somebody is lacking money, they'll go for somebody with money.
Yeah.
If somebody's really, really good looking, like and they've got no money, they'll take somebody. That
But
good
sometimes if a real
filling a need,
a real good girl, you always see them as scumbags.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But it depends. You can sometimes find that you're attracted to the opposite because they have something you don't. Like so, like a good girl might be attracted to a bad person or a bad boy because they've actually got a set of fucking balls and that person doesn't, or they're doing things that like you don't realise that whenever you get into that person's like it's. Do you know whenever somebody says something about you and you're like, oh fuck, that's true, and you don't realise it's subconscious. Like when I went to CBT, I told you this, didn't I? I got told that I had like a saviour complex. Did I tell you this? No, and it was like.
I think you told someone about it. I don't know if you told about the saviour complex.
So I went to like CBT and your woman sits there with a book. I went because the fire service and there's loads of fucking events happening. They were like, look, you should probably go CBT. It's been a bit mad. And I goes, right, so send me on there. So I went down and your woman's sitting there, do you know the pen like this here? And she's writing the whole thing you're talking. You could be saying nothing. You could literally be scratching your nuts. And she's made a note on it. You're sort of going, what's that? And I goes to her, show me what you wrote. And she goes, yeah, I can show you. And she turned around and goes, patient looks like they're going to ask me to see what I wrote. And I was like, oh fuck. But practically she was just like, She was just like talking about yourself. What
Like, she would have seen you when you were talking. You were writing down. You were starting to look at her pen, going.
I just goes, what are you writing? But it turned around. She just went through like my jobs, my ex relationships, random things.
Right.
Tell me about this. Tell me about that. And then at the end of it, she was like, "If you look at your life, I used to always pick like I would lifeguard, firefight coach. She's like jobs that help people.
Yeah.
And then see before my current relationship prior, I would have always. If there was something off with a lot, say she was like, "Oh, I don't feel great," I would have been like, "I'll try and solve this issue," even though. And she was like, "You were actually physically attracted to stuff like that." And do you know when somebody says something, and you're like, "Fuck, no way!" Like, as in, like, "Oh, how can I actually?" It's subconscious though.
Yeah, no, it is true. Like, you can see that with like, no life saving coaching, even coaching.
It's easy now that you say it, and people listen.
JD, people need trainers. They need the Air Maxes.
But it's easy saying now, but there's things that people will be not aware of that they do.
Yeah, of course.
Joe, and I think whenever it's like we were saying in the last couple of self-aware, whenever somebody says something, it makes an actual analysis. It makes you really go, holy. If anybody ever has considered going to therapy,
that's class.
I'd really, really recommend it. CBT was superb.
CBT is superb. I really enjoyed it.
And what did you? How much should I talk?
No, I think I talked about it before. I thought I was depressed after breaking up an engagement. Well, I was told I was depressed by everyone. But I didn't feel depressed. But you know when people are telling you you're depressed,
I hate that when people are telling me
I may be depressed, am I? And then I went to a guy, Dr. Donnelly, is his name?
It's good, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Were you depressed?
No, I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
Right.
Because I was working too hard to try to pay for a wedding, a house, and life all in 1 year. So yeah, I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown and just killed with anxiety and worries. And he said that I wasn't, even though the only thing I knew I had was worries, he goes, "You're just worries are worries, and you're going, they're not just worries." But he goes, worries is actually more important than anybody will ever think they are.
You can smell stress.
He goes, you have to give it credibility. So we went 4 or 5 times to him. And it was fucking unreal. Like, it was unbelievable. Real eye-opening. But everybody should, it's probably good. I think people should go at least twice to just, you learn something more about yourself. The first one is going to be the most awkward thing you ever do in your life. And you'll be like, I should learn so much about yourself. The second one you'll open up really loads, and the third one you'll do all the talking. He won't even talk.
Yeah, like see the time I went into see like that was like the last 10 minutes of the first one, and then the second and the third time I went, like I got a lot more deeper stuff. At the end of it, like, did you realise this? Yeah. What about this? The probia and stuff. And I honestly think, especially men, and this is me being straight with you, if you've never considered therapy, I'd really recommend it because it's one of them things that it actually does give you a really nice external, helpful, not opinion, but even a view on you. It's like I was saying before, like it's like a bird's eye view on you. You can't see because you're in your body. You're doing your behaviours. You're going a certain direction. Whereas it's almost like, do you know, it's really easy to give advice, but yet it's really, really hard whenever you're trying to make the decision. Do you know, whenever your friend asks for a bit of advice and you can go, "This is what you should do," or this one or two things, and then. But if you're in the place, it's really hard to get it. That's why sometimes I'll say to clients or say to other people, "What advice would you give to somebody in your situation?" Yeah. And it's always the right thing to say. But the problem is, it's just hard because you have emotional attachment. But no, definitely, if you've never considered therapy, I'd really recommend it. It's made a big difference to me.
It's definitely good. Like
it's not good here. I don't think or anything. I
went private, like, because NHS is a big waiting list, and it was like fucking 50 or 60 quid a session, and it was the best.
But sure, you could spend 250 quid for 4 sessions over, say, a month. Yeah. And you probably, if you feel that there's not, you could find out something that's actually annoying you. You could sort something. Yeah. And then that will actually give you so much more joy. And that's where, like we were talking about before, like that's money actually personally invested in you. Because
you could self-medicate and go out for a night out.
Yeah, but that's just, do you know, that is escapism. That's like taking fucking.
And that £50 not going to, the £50 you spend in the bar is going to last you 10 minutes, and it's not going to solve anything.
It's just going to, it's like whenever you, like, if you have anxiety and you're going out drinking, you're going to get worse. That's actually putting a plaster or a bullet wound. It's going to make
100%
far worse. I know that from personal experience. I used to dodge shit all the time through drugs and drinking. You're literally temporarily getting away from it. Yeah. And then when you come back, you're like, oh, this is even fucking worse.
Yeah, 100%.
See it all the time with people.
Oh yeah, people just love.
See it with myself first, like. And
people loved it. The one thing I would say I never done was self-medicate with issues with other issues. and I only never did that because I knew that it was never going to solve anything.
Yeah, I learned by doing that. And realising
I would say I am an outlier. Most people straight away go here, I'm dying for a drink, stressful week at work.
It's like
if I was stressed in work, I just want to chill out at home.
Yeah,
but now if I had a real good week at work, I'm like, I want to fucking go out.
Joe's a prime example too, when people break up with their other half.
Oh, what?
And they're just on it. And then the thing is, before a month goes by, they broke up with their other half of their house.
Yeah.
And they went clean on it. And then within about 2 months, they're back together because they actually, and then they break up again. It's suspicious.
They miss the person. But they don't really miss the actual person. They miss the time void that's left.
Yes,
and that's the only thing people. When my friends ever break up with people, I was like, right, what time did you spend with this person? Well, Tuesday was our thing, or Friday was our thing, or Saturday thing. I go, them days are going to be a fucking nightmare for you. You need to make sure. No, you should split up for the right reason. You know it's the right reason. She knows it's the right reason. Everybody knows it's the right reason. Them days for both of you are going to be a fucking nightmare, and that'll probably be the reason you get back together.
Yes, exactly.
So you have to make sure you're aware that time needs to be filled by something good, and I'm not talking about fucking drinking, rebounding, Saturday night, Sunday mornings, whatever it is.
Saturday night you would spend watching a movie, get a takeaway. Yes. Now you're going out with the boys.
Now you're going out with the boys, getting absolutely living, getting loose, and then probably making poor choices, and then the next morning you're like, fuck's sake, what I do last night, deleting snaps, deleting messages, you made a text the ex on the way home in the taxi, you're deleting all that, and then you're like, fuck me. And then you're apologising to people, and then the next week you're like, well, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep doing it again until either I settle down with someone else, I fill the gap with someone that shouldn't be in the gap, or I go back to the person before when we both know it's not the right reason. Because it's always going to be, because she's probably going through the exact same thing as you're going through, maybe in a slightly different way. Because the one thing I will say, now fellas are starting to rally around their friends a bit more. Back in the day, lads were lads. Well, not even back in the day, lads are still lads. But if a girl breaks up in a relationship, girls rally around them. Oh, this Saturday we're going to have pamper night and all. And that's fucking brilliant because they're helping them out. Fellas are normally like, on the fucking lash, you're single, let's go.
Yeah.
Get the Tinder bio updated, come on. Lads are out. Whereas that's not solving fucking anything. Well, it depends. No.
Some people will argue.
Some people just love it. Some fellas just want to get back on the horse. That's okay if it's up to them.
But I think then you're dodging it, whereas
you're dodging something anyway.
Because you need to actually, if you can see the thing.
But some girls are bad too. Like it's not just fellas. Like I know certain girls that when they're single, literally a day or two, they will start hatching plans.
Oh fuck, people are like that though.
But then also a lot.
But then that's when they rebound back to the same person because whenever it's quick off, it's quick.
Yeah. Well, also if the relationship like dragged on for 6 months longer than it is, they're already in their head
mentally checked out.
So to they're like, yeah, but I'm done with this person. I've been done with them for 4 months now. I'm ready to move on. You're like, well, it's been 24 hours.
Yeah,
don't be fucking moving on.
But I think that's like what I was going to say there is if you don't replace a bad habit with a good habit, that's where shit goes wrong. I said that before about my family. My family gave up smoking, mum and dad, Claire, and immediately as soon as they gave up smoking, they gained about 3 stone each because instead of putting fags in their mouth, they just start putting food. Whereas that's why you see people give up binds and all of a sudden they're fucking on the bike 24/7. They're fucking cycling. It's addiction. It's a swap of addiction, and even that case. Now it's not just that case. It's also bad good habits. But as you're saying there, it's not a bad habit to not fill the void. I think sometimes filling the void, if you're for a breakup, filling the void is actually blocking out what you need to do. You need to be able to sit there. It's like, do you know what I always think is really, really. It's not a red flag to me, but it is to an extent. Whenever somebody says to me, "Oh, like I can't just be by myself."
Yeah, some people do struggle with that. Like
I understand. Whenever you look at Maslow's hierarchy, like belonging really, really is important. But at the same time, you need to be able to sit like one night a week and be able to be okay with yourself.
Yeah. Like I know people that literally can't be on their own, and if they're on their own, they lose their fucking mind and they start like
suppose if you're there weeks and weeks, like that's different.
No, but I mean like someone who like on a Monday has nothing to do, and they go through their phone book texting people like randoms. Do you want to do something? Do you want to do something? They go down their list to a certain point, and then they're like, everybody's a fucking bored cunt. Nobody will do anything on a Monday night. And you're like, just fucking take one night and be like with yourself and your own mind and your own being and relax. Cause I think That's one positive thing to might come out of COVID is a lot of people realise that there is fucking, when they like say ones have been locked down on their own or whatever.
More to life too.
There's more, you know, there is more to life, but also if some people have never been on their own until COVID, like they've never been away from their friends.
Yeah.
So people about the 18, 19 age group is probably in the last 5 or 6 years of being kind of an adult have probably never been on their own. So then they're like, you know what?
Good time for it though.
Yeah. So they've realised now, certain friends, I don't need them in my life. Certain people, I don't need them in my life. Certain people I really need in my life because I realise how much value they bring to me. But also, I need to be okay on my own because them first 3 months, you lose your mind because you're being surrounded by people all your life.
You could also notice, like for example, especially as things are starting to run now, you could actually notice you start to get unhappier because you're starting to spend time with more and more people again. And sometimes the more time you spend with other people, the lonelier you feel, I think.
Yeah.
Joe, like, do you see that quote? It's like, Joe, you sometimes feel lonelier in a big crowded room. But I honestly do feel like if you like, that's why your circle small is key as well. Like, it's one of the things where if you do feel like that, it's not a bad thing. Like, I always notice myself, like, see the more people that I have or the more people I have to meet or friend group, I always end up feeling worse. It's like whenever I used to go out on nights out just for the sake of going.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to miss out or seem like a weirdo. And it was actually making me so unhappy. So just realise as well that, like, it's just one of the things that I really struggle to comprehend. So that's the reason I'm saying it, because I wish somebody would say to me, it's like, whatever makes you happy, don't second guess it. Like, I would far rather sit in most nights and watch something and relax and go out on the fucking rip. Now, don't get me wrong, every now and then, but whereas before I would have just done it because everybody's doing it, and I think you can get caught in that watching what other people are doing and making them happy.
Yeah, well,
following it.
I find that because of DJing and it being such a social thing and running events and you're out and you're there and you're in that social environment that when you have a night off, people are like, oh, are you going to go out tonight? And you're like, no, because when you're out, you're on. You know, you're out, you're on. You're the brand. People come to charity, so you go out for dinner. Like most of the time, I don't run into that many people that I know on a night out. But when you're out, you always have to be very aware of your behaviour. Even though everybody has to aware of their behaviour, you have to be just aware of things a wee bit slightly more. And then you're always on. And
I would have been a lot looser on the drink whenever I didn't have a business.
Yeah, well, you do. That's the thing.
Last time I was like properly drunk, I was in the 5 points.
Yeah.
And I got up on the table, I don't even remember, took off my trousers, took off my boxers and started windmilling people. Like, I would not be caught dead doing that. Got cleaned by a bouncer, fucked outside, had my shoes still on, and he just literally threw my boxers back on, and then like, I just don't remember. I seen pictures and I was like, oh my fucking
well, I never did anything that bad. Like,
but even in that case, like, I don't remember anything. Like, that was probably that must be 4 years.
You would never think of doing that now, like.
Yeah, but the thing is, but whereas, like, I'm not saying that most people want to do that, but it's that sort of thing where you can get fucking caught out, and then, you know, like, I get people, somebody wrote to me the other week, and do you know what, this goes straight at you, go fuck yourself. It's a case of, they wrote to me and goes, somebody asked me, and this is being deadly serious, like, they can go shove this thing up their fucking arse. They wrote to me, I put up a post, somebody asked me about fat burners, and they goes, do fat burners work? And my answer was, if they're bought over the counter, they won't work.
No.
If they're illegal, they probably will work, but they come with side effects.
Yeah.
The person wrote to me going, you have a platform, and you're telling people that fat burners are okay. And I didn't even bother replying, and I just was like, did not tell anybody they're okay. The question was, do fat burners work? I answered the question. It's not my job to preach to people.
No.
Now, yes, I'm in a position of where I can, but at the same time, see if somebody's going to go out and take fucking roids, yokes.
But you told them there's a side effect.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's just that case of where people will, I don't even know how I got on this, but yeah, there you go. Hopefully the person watches this video.
People are...
It's that thing where you're everything's seen.
Yeah. Well, it hit home for me a couple of years ago. It was like, I'll tell you what it was Easter Saturday. Anthony Joshua was fighting Parker. And we went out to watch the match. We went out to watch the fight. We got absolutely blitzed. All the boys were on from Canada. And I walked up outside Sally's. Loads of fucking students were outside Sally's. Was chatting away, steaming. And then there was one boy started giving me a bit of bad manners. And so I started giving him a bit of bad manners back. And then, I think it was like 2 days later, must have been Easter, no, whatever the students were back in Belfast. And I was chatting to a couple of staff, and they were like, oh, I heard you were in a row on Easter Saturday. And I'm like, no, it wasn't a fucking row. Easter Saturday closed early. They're like, were you not in a row with someone outside Sally's? Like, no, like, got an argument about it, but there was no punches thrown or nothing. They're like, we heard that. And I was like, how the fuck did you hear this boy's from Downpatrick?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, somebody put up a Snapchat of you arguing with someone.
Oh, fucking joke. Like, I mean,
But that's where it can get to me where, say if I have a night off, I want a night off, as you said, movie, carry out, whatever. Don't wanna, the odd time, like I do love a good night out, but
there's a limit as well.
there's a limit.
So what's a good example of what you're saying there as well is like, no matter what Tommy Fury's done, the amount of death he got from being shit the other night in Manchester.
In a student bar.
In a student bar, he was fucking all his tits, wasn't he? And he had the t-shirt off and all. But the thing is,
Tortured the DJs, supposedly.
Yeah.
Capped off to play grime music, £400 bill it is.
left his missus and pick up and stuff. But the thing is, now don't get me wrong, I don't really know, but say he done fucking £500,000 of charity work 3 weeks before, that would completely fucking thrown under the carpet, don't give a fuck because you've been chinned. But the thing is, now don't get me wrong, now you can't be setting like he.
Well, I don't know if he did anything that wrong. He just acted. He just acted like a young
man
guy.
Yeah.
His actions be thrown into the spotlight because he's famous.
That's always the way though. But there's so many people locally that are going on like that don't get shadowed. And I think it's a case of, if anything, that actually makes him more relatable in my opinion. Like, normal. So the thing is, like, it's not that it's okay to go on a while, want to leave a bill to fucking be paid for, but a case of like, it's alright to fucking let your.
Well, I think he was that drunk that he probably didn't even realise it was a bill.
I know, he wouldn't fucking know.
But
no harm, but no real fucking, like, he didn't fucking
hit anybody. I think the worst thing he did the whole night was he tortured the fucking DJ to play grime music.
You get tortured to play.
Oh fuck! People torture me every day.
Tommy Fury asked you to play grime music. Would you play one tune? Yeah.
No.
For fuck's sake, you're no.
I go, Tommy, you looking at a picture, mate? Logan Paul's gonna knock you out, Tommy.
Is Logan Paul going to have the fight?
No, Tommy Fury won't sign the contract, supposedly.
Oh.
But people in the spotlight, you do feel kind of sorry for them sometimes because
we're in a very small, like we're not even in the spotlight, we're in like, you know, like the lamplight.
Yeah.
We're in like a tiny.
No, but I mean, people like Tommy Fury, I feel sorry for him by, like, the smallest thing, like, if he goes out,
you say one word wrong.
Creased clothes, people are like, oh, Tommy Fury forgets there and his clothes. Must have been kicked out by the missus last night.
Joe, one prime example is whenever the whole fucking world, the whole media was giving Chadwick Boseman shite for losing his weight and he was dying from fucking cancer.
And because he didn't want nobody to know.
That's the Black Panther actor, if you ever seen him. I pronounced the second name wrong, but I don't think it did.
No, it's Boseman,
But like Joe, prime example, punching friend, and then it was like, not an apology, not nothing. Just a sweet on the next one. The media's fucking shit, but that's why you can't believe it.
But then to flick back to what we're talking about at the start, the media and social media is the same. People look at people on social media and go, "Oh, she looks shitty at the minute," or "He looks shitty at the minute." They don't know what's going on behind their eyes. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's one photo.
Yeah, they don't know. It's like in the same way the photo of the guy with the 2 bottles of Grey Goose. That guy could be stone broke, but you're looking at him going, he looks like a successful guy.
Yeah.
Whereas the guy walking about in a pair of ripped fucking jeans and shitty trainers could be a millionaire because he doesn't need to. He doesn't
validate himself.
He doesn't need you to know that he's successful. It's normally the people that want you to really know they're successful aren't successful because, like, some of the most successful people I know, they would treat you and every other person the same. It's the guys on the way up who want to pretend to be more successful are normally the bigger arseholes or the cheekier people. And that's where I think social media is in that precarious position where there's so much bullying and trolling going on that people that shouldn't have a platform for doing the trolling have now got it, and then they have a voice because they look like they have 200,000 followers, so it looks like they have an authority to call someone a wanker, and then people, then their followers are going to go, he is a wanker.
But then, Joe, like, my one's always said the same to me, and it always sticks to me, is you treat everyone the same on the way up because you'll need them on the way back down.
Fucking sure.
Like, because if you have 200k followers on Instagram and Instagram goes tomorrow and you have fuck all else, for all you know, the next job you could be applying for could be in the place that person manages.
Oh, aye.
Joe, and people think, that'll never happen, but I actually watched 24 Hours in A&E on my man there about 3-4 months ago, and I remember this boy was loaded in Dubai, driving around, like a proper businessman and all, and he was flying up, and he always sent money home to his ones. And one day the boy just turned around after 15-20 years and goes, look, your job's no longer here, you're too old to be carrying back. And he had fuck all left because he'd been living out in, it was Dubai or somewhere. And the thing is, see, when he came home, no problem people putting him up, and he was like, Joe, I was grateful for the fact that they would help me now.
Yeah.
But then the other people were telling him, well, the least we can do is help you now because you helped us.
Yeah.
And as much as people don't think that happens way too often.
All the time.
So that's why you look after that. You look after everyone, because if you don't, you'll regret it. It's one of the things that you would actually.
Oh, I see it happen with DJs all the time.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Like the smaller venues, like a small venue tries to book me, and sometimes I can't do them, and I just explain to them that they probably can't afford it or whatever. But I'm never a dick about it. I know boys that will actually.
Yeah, so I'm above you. That's
I sort of, and then you're like, you're definitely going to be back at that level in,
3 minutes.
you probably some of them, normally them boys that do that probably should be at that level. They're not. The way everything's, people's opinions can change like anything. You could be the cream of the crop today, especially in something like music. You're in the gutter tomorrow. You see boys like Sam Smith, for instance. Like, no offense to Sam Smith, he's a great singer and this and that. I don't know, is he thinks he's a tree now or a bucket or whatever he thinks he is.
What?
He says he doesn't feel like a man or a woman. He's a spirit, or I don't know what the fuck he is. He said I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing it for attention because nobody gives a toppenny fuck about him anymore.
Yes.
And that's so hard for a superstar to comprehend that nobody cares. You could be the best. Like, he's one of the greatest singers probably of all time. Nobody gives a fuck about him anymore.
No, exactly.
Because just the time changed. So then he came out that. First of all, he came out that he was gay, and that's okay. Yeah, everybody kind of knew that. Then he came out.
Yeah, I was going to say
then he came out that he associated himself as a woman or something, and now he's changed that again. And you're like, just fucking stop.
Yeah, but that's a prime example.
You're just trying to keep in the
spotlight,
relevance and in the limelight. You're trying to keep a wee bit of relevance. That's why you get all these boys calling out, like someone going, "Oh fuck, I might box him." You're like, but you're a TV presenter. You're not a boxer.
Yeah.
You're trying to keep relevant.
Yeah, that's why Logan Paul was challenging boys to fights and all, because he's
they want the difference. I think with the Logan Paul thing is they have all the relevance in the world on YouTube. They want mainstream relevance.
Yeah, exactly.
And fair play. The one thing I will say about Logan Paul and Jake Paul, they're not just turning up the boxing to fight people. They're putting in the effort. They're training like fuck to fight people. Whereas some people are just, they can see the ones that are turning up the fight and they're getting fucking knocked out.
Yeah, they're just fucking. But that's the difference as well.
But then it also helps when you're a multi-millionaire.
There's
and your day job's taking videos.
It's like the thing you were saying though as well. I always get told there's two different skills as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between becoming rich and staying rich. And it's the same with there's a difference between becoming relevant and staying relevant.
Yeah.
Like there's clearly they're two different skill sets. Like that's why you see Joe, it's a class statistic. I think I've said this before. It's I think in Australia, 70% of all lottery winners go back to broke within 24 to 36 months. Like they have the money gone. Like 70%.
Oh, wow.
So if you win 10 million, it's gone because they don't know their values don't change with it. The reason they aren't like that in the first place is because they don't value the money. They don't know how to spend it, don't know how to gather it. So the thing is, they're gonna spend it shit. That's why it's like a prime example. It's like if you think, right, win the lottery, go and fucking spend it on little hookers and drink. Like that is not gonna last you. So whereas it's that sort of thing of it's just even with that social media stuff, it's a difference between getting $10,000, $20,000 and then actually being able to build a business, build a lifestyle, stay actually okay. Where people go up and people come back down. That's why.
Well, you have some people has 10,000 followers because of a skill, or because of a business, and other people have 10,000 followers because of their looks or something like that. It's harder to turn one into the other. If you've got 10,000 followers because of tits and ass.
Oh baby.
You can't switch that to selling people fucking something very mainstream. Like coffee or something. You're
struggling.
I was trying to think something like medically. Like if you were a doctor, you can't then go to people, oh, come to my private practice, but all your pictures are you in gym shorts.
Yeah.
But whereas if you get a following because of this, for instance, some of them boys that are masters and dietitians, or like your boy Berg, who's big into keto or whatever, he's grown a following because of his skill set and not what he looks like, or not it's not just skin deep stuff. It's real So it's a tedious.
It's a mad world. It is.
It's a mad world that you can have a business on.
Like 20 years ago, you would never assume that everything would be online. Like jobs are coming out of fucking nowhere. It'll be mad to think what the next. Like, do you know what's mad is it was 2021. Like, imagine 2031. Like, there will be a very big shift, probably in my job, to something else. Or
but the one thing about your job, obesity will never become cool.
No, I can't see that.
I can't see that trend.
The dad bod thing came in for a while, but
the dad bod's a thing for people. I think is there's a guy who doesn't. No, and this I think stems from social media. People are under pressure to look a certain way, and then you go, there's a guy like Chris Pratt who got the dad bod. Now he's an insane Nick. Got the dad bod famous. They're like, there's a guy who doesn't give a fuck what other people think about him, and fair play to him. And I think that's because of social media, people are under pressure to look a certain way. Not all because of social media, but it makes people. I mean, if you would go on social media any day, you go, every fucking fella looks like he's cut out of stone.
Yeah.
But that is not the truth. That is not the truth. You go into a gym, there's always the outliers. Most people are normal, everyday looking people. And that's
see why you can know shape it on too though. Like, it's that sort of thing where, like, if I sit here, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be. And it's that sort of thing where people go, fuck, you're always in it. But I'm like, as well, then there's people there that will be the outlier and be just naturally very good looking and stuff as well. It's in every sort of give and take. But no, I know what you mean. It's more I actually think that's probably more attractive to you, not giving a fuck.
Well, there's something about, like, once again, it was a podcast I was listening to, and the guy was talking about, like, confidence. And the guy goes, there's something about a girl in her mid-30s, the confidence they have. He's like, I want that confidence. And the other guy was like, fuck, he never thought about that. He's like, bingo. He goes, because they don't give a fuck what other people think anymore. They're like, you know what? I went through all this shit in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I don't really care anymore. And he goes, they were talking about confidence. You know what I actually think it was? I think it was that.
Like that, just you're newly married, sort of, or just about that sort of.
You're kind of range. Yeah, you've done whatever you've done. You've accomplished whatever you've accomplished. You've made all these mistakes. You know, you're back.
You know where life's going.
Yeah. Fuck, what is the podcast? You know the podcast too. It's one of the biggest. Mind Pump. It's like the biggest fitness podcast in the world. The boys are real funny on it. And they talked about, they were talking about big dick energy, as Ariana Grande or whatever called it. And then he was like, I want the confidence of a 35-year-old mum of two.
Yeah.
And then the other boy was like, bingo, he goes, because they walk in the gym, they don't give a fuck when they're like, you finished that machine? You're like, oh yeah. And you go, you fucking 3 sets left, but you're getting out of the way for this girl because she fucking means business. And he goes, she's full of confidence, she doesn't care, she'll call you up and stuff. He goes, she's not in the mirror posing, she's not this. She goes, she's just really confident in herself and confident in her ability because she's keeping 2 fucking young people alive. She's probably keeping another adult alive who's her husband. And he goes, she's walking around going, there's nothing you can throw at me, I've got this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was sitting there listening and going, holy shit, they are right.
But I think that's as well, the reason that like women like that have confidence as well is because they actually know what matters.
Yeah.
And whenever you know what matters, you can go, well, like my family, like I think that you notice that especially with people who have children, that like the child is the most important thing, right? And then everything else becomes like subpar. The job's really important.
Well, you have no days off. If you have a child, you don't even have an hour off.
Yeah, but that sort of thing where like a small argument with somebody means far less. Whereas when you're 17 and say somebody's post something about you, it's the fucking end of your world.
Yeah.
Whereas the more mature you get, the more you understand, and the more you actually figure out your values and what matters to you. And I think that's the epitome of that, where that woman sort of is.
Yeah.
You go, well, nothing really, I don't really give a fuck about anything else apart from these 5 things. As long as they're okay, I don't give a fuck. And I think that's why I reset very quickly now as well, because I know what matters to me and what doesn't. Whereas especially I guarantee you're the same, and a lot of people, for a long time you stress of what people are thinking about you, or like a job or something that doesn't even fucking matter to you really deep down, and then that's where you don't get confidence. Whereas like I know, see if I've got my coaching, my family, I'm doing okay for myself, and like a couple like impact, freedom, family, I know I don't really give a fuck about much else, because they have the 3
As you said before, COVID could be fucking outside your doors. If it's not affecting me in my house,
sweet.
I'm good to go.
I don't care about other people and all.
I will sit inside for a while and do this, but if it's, as long as the main things in my life are okay,
Yeah.
That's grand.
Yeah,
Well, that's
exactly.
the right way to be.
Like the main thing that frustrated me about COVID was because it took away fitness from me, and that was probably one of my main values. Whereas it didn't frustrate me sitting in the house. Whereas if your main value was socialising, it would fucking frustrate the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of thing where, don't get me wrong, there's obviously sitting in the house and all that, but I think more people complain about it make things where, like, the more you complain about something, the worse something gets. That's why I'm always like, I fucking can't stand it, because like complaining for me is just one of the things that doesn't make any sense. See, if you make a complaint, make a solution.
Yeah.
Like if I turn around to you and I goes, look, 808 coffee isn't that great, but
I'd say you're a liar.
well, I would be a liar, but I would like it. I would love it if you could make it slightly stronger. You're at least you're fucking giving us. We're not just being a moaning fucking.
Your coffee shit. You go right.
You're coaching shit, right? Well, what do you want me to do? Oh, I want you to do.
If I coached you, no. Oh right. How do you know it's shit then? Oh, because the guy that I was chatting says it was shit. And you're like, right? That doesn't.
I always ask clients and I always go, "What's the biggest challenge of your week?" And then the next question always is
biggest win.
Yeah, biggest wins there. Biggest wins before that. Because biggest win, biggest challenge, and the next one is how do we overcome the challenge for this week?
Yeah.
Because it gives you a problem and immediately you're thinking solution. So it's mind processing, Joe.
Yeah.
If you have a problem, you should be thinking, what's the solution? Not just, oh fuck, I have a problem. That makes no fucking sense.
No.
And that gets nobody nowhere. Joe, whenever you get all that wound up energy, Joe, whenever like there's a problem and you're fucking spinning around in circles and you're going, and then if you just take a second and think, right, well there's only one or two solutions. So that's it. It doesn't matter if it's a really bad problem and you only have one or two. You have a really like an okay solution and a bad solution. You take the okay one. There's not going to be a magic good one.
Yeah.
You just take the best of two evils there, and that's it. No matter what it is. I know I'm talking riddles there. I don't want to give examples.
I was waiting for the plumbing analogy to come.
No, I use plumbing analogies in different podcasts every day. And I was like, I always use plumbing analogies. Hopefully Mickey doesn't listen to this.
Alright.
And right, well, that is 58 motherfucking minutes.
58 minutes live from Bangor. This podcast might actually go out before the last podcast we recorded.
Do you prefer this one?
No, I'm just thinking when I edit both of them, I'll decide, and I don't want to put myself in a rabbit hole where I have to use all. So me and Tony's here in Bangor before he flies to Dubai in 2 weeks.
Live flash. Yeah, what's your impression of it?
You're smaller. His legs are just as tiny.
Shut the fuck up.
I say your calves are.
Calves alright.
Don't know. Trainers are nicer in person.
Yeah, they are fresher.
Smaller, eats a bagel like a warthog. Very tan. We'll not call him out in the sunbeds just yet.
I was in fucking Spain for 4 weeks.
So he says.
What do you want me to do? Fucking
So he says, guys. If this, well, I don't know. I'm gonna get on this. If this goes out today, I was DJing last night.
Oh, we're not even going through this. You'll hear this in the next week's or last week's episode. We're not getting this.
What is life, guys?
Thank you very much for listening.
DJ Mickey Quinn is back.
Yeah, the DJ is back in the building. And any final beautiful touches?
No, keep rating and reviewing, guys. I'm sick of asking.
Fuck me. Right.
So average, we have 600 people listen to this podcast a week.
How many reviews do I have?
55 or 59 reviews.
So that's 1 in 8, is it?
But
1 in 12?
that could be the 55 people that listen to an Apple Podcast, because the Spotify's a lot higher listeners. So all you Spotify people, go over to Apple Podcast, find the podcast and review it. If you own an iPhone, it's there. It's on your home screen. Simple to do.
Oh, you just search and thing?
Just search a thing.
Yeah, but you see, you almost need to give them a reward. Do you know what I mean?
Tony will coach you for free for 2 years.
No, I won't. No.
I'll give you no free coffee. Tony will coach you for 2 years.
We'll think of something.
We're going to do a competition coming up soon.
Right, there you go. That's it.
And
me jumping into another giveaway, fuck's sake.
Tony loves a good giveaway. He's got withdrawal symptoms. It's been 3 months. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
It's been since February or January.
Nah, it fucking isn't that.
It has. The last one I done was the Lean 14 one. It's $2,000. That was it.
Lean 14,
January. There we go. On that bombshell, an hour one of beautiful, beautiful sound coming live from Bangor.
Take it easy, guys. That was a good one. Oh, fuck my legs.
You're busted now, yeah. That was coming the end there. I was like,